As London Noun flies you over the city, get ready for an amazing tour. Watch till the end for stunning views of Tower Bridge.
Hello, I'm Jeremy John. I'm a City of London official guide. I'm standing here in front of the Visitor Information Centre, and if you have a look at this sign here, it tells you the walks that we do, a whole collection of us tour guides, every day at 11 o'clock and at weekends 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock as well. To get our badge, I'll show you it here, the City of London. It takes 9 months of hard training and lots of examinations. And we love London, especially we love our area here, known as the City of London, also called the Square Mile. We give lots of tours, many different themes. You'll see some of the themes on here. You'll see that we do things like Roman London. Some of London is nearly 2,000 years old. A lot of it's underground. Now, the Visitor Information Centre of the City of London here is situated right next to St. Paul's Cathedral. So, St. Paul's Cathedral, you're probably thinking, how long did this take to build? It took 35 years. The architect was a man called Christopher Wren, who became Sir Christopher Wren, completed in 1711. So that's 300 years ago. And if you look up to the very top, there is a dome up there. That was the first ever domed cathedral in London. You might just about see some people above the dome, and that's because you can actually go in St. Paul's Cathedral, climb up all of the steps inside, and at the very top you get a lovely view of London. If you feast your eyes back down from the dome, you'll see a phoenix. You'll see a phoenix, and underneath the phoenix it says resurgam, which is Latin, which means, well, to resurge, to rise from the ashes like a phoenix. And that's there symbolically, because this was built after a big fire took place in London, known as the Great Fire of London. It happened in 1666. And after that fire, Christopher Wren, who became Sir Christopher Wren, was in charge of rebuilding over 50 churches and also the cathedral. Now, the cathedral is very close to the river. The river in London is called the River Thames. And we are going to go there now. We are now at the River Thames. The River Thames here is really the reason that London exists. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the ancient Romans decided to build a bridge over the River Thames, and on the north side, the settlement became known as Londinium. Now, fast forward to the recent few hundred years, and basically more and more bridges have been built. One of the most recent additions is the bridge behind me here. This is known as Millennium Bridge, built for the millennium, so built and completed in the year 2000. Something to notice about Millennium Bridge is that it has no vehicles on it. If you look up, you'll see there are people walking, sometimes people jogging, but no cars, no vehicles travelling over there. The nearest bridge is on that side, and that is Southwark Bridge. So you'll see coaches, buses, cars and vans travelling over that bridge. On the other side, we have the Blackfriars Railway Bridge, where we have trains, and that's just over here, and the trains actually stop on the bridge as well. If you look over to the other side of the river, you will see Shakespeare's Globe. Now, Shakespeare's Globe there is not the original building. The original building was built 425 years ago, and it burnt down. But basically, in the late 1980s, an idea came to actually make a replica of it, and it was completed in 1997. And what you see over there was built as faithfully as possible to the original building, and you can even go and see Shakespeare's plays performed today, and often they do it in the style that the original plays were done as well. And next to Shakespeare's Globe, just next to it there, is a massive art gallery, one of the biggest art galleries in the world, and it's called the Tate Modern. Called the Tate Modern because it's got modern art inside. But that was not always an art gallery. In fact, that used to be a power station. That is where electricity used to be generated. It stopped being used, and someone had the bright idea to turn it into an art gallery, and it's now one of the most visited art galleries in the whole country. Okay, if you look just over there, you'll see it says the words London Bridge. And that is because this, of course, is London Bridge. But if you look just through there, down the river, you will see another bridge. Now, sometimes you might hear that that bridge all the way down there is London Bridge. It's not, it's Tower Bridge. And we're going to finish this very quick tour at Tower Bridge. But let's first focus on London Bridge. So this bridge was completed in 1973. Despite being relatively modern for London's bridges, this is actually where a bridge has been dating all the way back to the ancient Roman period. They built theirs just ever so slightly further along from here, and ever since then we've had some kind of bridge going across the river. You may have heard a song that goes, London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. What is that about? Well, historians aren't entirely sure, but one of the bridges either sort of fell down on its own accord or it was pulled down by an invading army. But this bridge here will certainly not be falling down. Now, if we look back at the bridge, you're going to see a very tall building just behind it. That building up there is called the Shard. An interesting thing about this building, the Shard, it was built 10 years ago, and although it's a very modern building, in fact it's the tallest building in the whole country, there is something that's paying tribute to London's past here. According to the architect, he was inspired by two things of the old London skyline: the masts of ships and the towers of churches. And standing here, we can actually see a church tower of Southwark Cathedral. If you just span over here, you'll see the prongs of the churches there, and that is what gave him the idea to do that kind of prong at the top of the skyscraper. So a modern building, but a kind of historic twist as well. It's here that we finish our quick tour, and well, we've got this view of Tower Bridge. Remember, Tower Bridge, not London Bridge. Why Tower Bridge, by the way? Well, that's because it was built next to the Tower of London. So just to the left there on the north side of the river is the old Tower of London. That tower is over 900 years old. So Tower Bridge got the name after that, and that bridge is quite iconic. It was built and completed in 1894, and it was built as a bridge that would open. So where the traffic is crossing over there is actually a bridge which opens. Why does it open? Well, the original idea was to let ships come through, because this part of the river is where ships would unload their goods. So they wanted a bridge that could still open to let those big ships through. So why the bit at the top? Well, the bit at the top, the idea was, if that bridge is going to be open quite a lot, people need to still walk over the bridge, so build a bit at the top, and then when the bridge is open, people can walk up and over. Now that was the idea. There's the theory, and there's the practice. What happened in reality? When they completed this bridge, the bridge opened, but instead of most people walking up and over, well, sometimes we can be a bit lazy. People just waited for it to go back down again, and then they walked over that way. So in fact, that area at the top barely got used, and it got closed down in the early 1900s. It wasn't until the 1980s that it reopened, and it reopened for tourism, and it's still open today. People can actually go up there and walk up and over. They even built a glass floor up there as well, so you can go up and go, ah! Anyways, that does bring us to the end of this quick tour, and can I thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure to just show you a little snapshot of London, and I've been Jeremy John. Take care of yourselves.
Now let's review some vocabulary. Sign, a symbol conveying information, instruction, or warning. Architect, a person who designs buildings. Cathedral, a large Christian church with grand architecture. Ancient, very old, from long ago. millennium, 1,000 years, or significant era. Replica, a copy that looks like the original. Sign, architect. Cathedral, ancient. Millennium, replica.
Now, the Visitor Information Centre of the City of London here is situated right next to St. Paul's Cathedral. If you feast your eyes back down from the dome, you'll see a phoenix. And underneath the phoenix it says resurgam, which is Latin, which means, well, to resurge, to rise from the ashes like a phoenix. And that's there symbolically, because this was built after a big fire took place in London. Christopher Wren, who became Sir Christopher Wren, was in charge of rebuilding over 50 churches and also the cathedral. But that was not always an art gallery. In fact, that used to be a power station. That is where electricity used to be generated. It stopped being used and someone had the bright idea to turn it into an art gallery.